Bullet Club.
Hello and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time with us. This is Allin Presents. I'm Leanne, your host for this video, and I'm joined by Allin, my co-host. As you've seen from the title card, this is our reactions to AEW's most recent pay-per-view, Full Gear, which aired on Saturday the 18th of November. We're recording this on Sunday the 19th, so we're fresh. We're getting this content to you as soon as we possibly could. So you're welcome. If you haven't watched already, we did our predictions for the event before the event. We'll put a link somewhere on the screen so you can go check that out if you'd like to. And as you can imagine, there will be spoilers for Full Gear during this reactions video. So if you're planning to watch the pay-per-view and haven't already, we'd advise you watch that first and then come back. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So how do you find the show in general?
Yeah, it was jeez, it's just non-stop almost. It seemed to be less. AEW doesn't tend to do much of the recaps almost and the filler stuff, but there just seemed to be even less of it this time.
Yeah, it was just from one match to the next. Maybe had like a 2-minute segment.
Not even that in some cases. Some of them were like 30-second recap and then boom, straight into it. And it's like, oh my God. It just kept like, boom, 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 boom. That's what it felt like, yeah.
Hard to find time to have a break to get a drink or something.
I'll make notes.
Definitely. Okay, so we had a couple of matches on the kickoff show.
Yes.
Was it a 0 hour? Or
0 hour, yeah, 0 hour. So we should preface this, but obviously we did the predictions. Some of the matches were announced after we did our predictions video because Collision and Rampage had Friday night. If we had to watch those, then record and get this up, we would have had like 2 hours before the show, give or take. So what we did is in the description to the predictions video, we put the updated predictions. If we had changed any or any of the new matches, we put them in the content of the description for the predictions video. Yeah.
So the first match was one of those late editions.
Yeah.
Jay Lethal versus Eddie Kingston for the Ring of Honor World Championship. So we got championship match on 0 hours.
Yeah, we had two.
We had two. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. This is a free show on YouTube.
FREE.
Free, if you can't spell.
That's like JE double. I'm not going to go there again.
No,
let's not go there again.
Let's not.
That's the whole thing.
So they very much played into the angle here of Jay and Eddie very much knowing each other, knowing each other's wrestling styles. They've been in matches before, and they very much used that. There was a lot of preempting each other's moves, countering each other's moves, which just makes it so dynamic and believable, which is really cool. We, of course, had the rest of the gang getting involved. We had Jeff Jarrett and Karen and everyone like that. So we had
bloody Karen.
I know, she's just everywhere. So there was one point where the ref was distracted and the guitar, Jeff Jarrett's guitar, just gets left
conveniently
in the ring. But at this point, both Jay and Eddie are down, so they're then like both scrambling desperately to get to the guitar first. But then out comes Ortiz, who is a friend of Eddie Kingston, but they haven't really.
They had a bit of a rivalry, They had a bit of a rivalry, so.
Yeah, and then Ortiz has been off doing other rivalries.
With Santana, yeah.
Yes, so he's sort of back in the mix. He grabs the guitar and hits Sanjay Dutt with it.
Oh, he crowns him with it.
We were wondering what on earth, who's he going to be against?
Yeah.
But he's definitely on Eddie Kingston's side, so that was good. Have you got any highlights that you want to cover before we get to the finish?
Nope.
Awesome. So after the guitar shot to Sanjay Dutt, Eddie Kingston hits a spinning back fist to Jay Lethal and pins him to win and retain.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. And then we had Eddie and Ortiz sharing a moment in the ring, and they actually leave together, which was quite nice. So.
It still looked a bit uneasy, though. It was almost like, is Ortiz still, or is he going to crown him one? Or like, what's he going to do? And it kind of felt like, ooh, they're still kind of teasing that little...
An uneasy alliance, but an alliance nonetheless.
Yes.
On the way out, they were threatening Stokely Hathaway as they were going.
Yeah, he's like one of the executives of Ring of Honor, I think.
Yeah, they said he was on the executive board.
That's it. Yeah.
He was on commentary for the match and was obviously in Jay Lethal's corner all the way.
He's one of the hosts for the 0 hour as well. So
he was around.
Yeah.
It was a really good starting match.
Yeah.
It did not feel at all like filler or warm up. It
no.
felt like this could have been just a match on Dynamite, maybe even a main event on one of the shows, to be honest, because it was really good.
Yeah.
It was some good old-fashioned wrestling with some good old-fashioned shenanigans.
There's always shenanigans with Jay Lethal and his gang.
So you just get that tease of this is what it's going to be like this evening.
Yeah.
Or this morning for us.
Yeah. In terms of predictions, we both got that one correct. We both predicted Eddie Kingston to retain.
Whoop, whoop. All right, then we come on to the only non-title match on 0 Hour, which was Claudio Castignoli versus Buddy Mathews from House of Black.
Yeah, so Blackpool Combat Club versus House of Black, technically.
Yeah, but none of the other people on outside with them, just the two.
No, yeah. Well, Mox has got his own stuff to deal with, and so has the House of Black.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
But usually you've got Wheeler Yuta hanging about.
Yeah.
I know he's got his own stuff going on later, anyways.
Well,
I'm imagining things.
No, you come up with Mox, but
let's remember.
Yeah, we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves a bit
there. This was another match where there were a lot of really good counters and catches. Not least Claudio catching Buddy Mathews and just immediately into the giant swing. It goes around so fast. You can just see the way he's leaning, the counterbalance.
Yeah.
Just one wrong step and they'd both be tumbling. That was pretty cool. I also noted that I think it was Claudio was stepping through to put Buddy in. I think it was the figure four. It was a leg lock, sharpshooter. It's one of the leg lock things. Sorry.
Leg lock things. God.
And sort of in the process of stepping through, he just stands on Buddy Mathews' back.
Yeah.
Which might not have been intentional, but it was a nice touch to just show what he thinks of him. So I enjoyed that. Anything else that you've got to highlight?
That, Buddy Mathews doesn't really get much airtime recently, and I thought this was a really great outing for Buddy. I think it really shows his worth in the company.
Yeah.
And he put on a hell of a show. Fair play.
Definitely. And partly having him without the rest of House of Black as well, it shows that he can obviously stand on his own 2 feet. It gave him that real chance to showcase himself. Awesome. So Claudio has the Scorpion Deathlock on Buddy Mathews, who nearly gets to the ropes. It was so close. He's just dragging himself, but then Claudio drags him back, and Buddy Mathews.
No, it was a sharpshooter, wasn't it?
Was it? I thought it was the Scorpion Deathlock.
They're kind of the same move technically, anyway. Yeah.
I think the commentator says Scorpion Deathlock. Otherwise, I would not have known not to.
They are very similar. So generally, a sharpshooter, I think you sit down more on it as opposed to Deathlock, which you kind of hold them up a bit more.
Started as one and turned into the other.
Yeah, maybe. I am gutted that Buddy lost. I felt that Claudio doesn't really gain anything by winning this match in the feud. No. They're obviously trying to set up a feud between Blackpool Combat Club and House of Black. I feel that Claudio winning this doesn't really further anything. Because it seems that Blackpool Combat Club are more about vengeance and revenge and you beat me, I've got to come back and get that loss back kind of thing. Whereas House of Black are more just we're just going to bulldoze you, and if we lose, then so be it, whatever. They're kind of respectful in that aspect. So I feel that this doesn't really further anything. So I'm a bit why did they do that? But then saying that, we both predicted Claudio Castignoli to win. So yeah,
I suppose if anything was a filler match, it was this one, maybe. But it was really good
anyway. Hell of a good filler.
At the end, you did have Claudio and Buddy. They're sort of facing each other, and it looks like they might go for a handshake. The crowd's chanting sportsmanship. Yeah. But Buddy walks past, bumping his shoulder on the way past.
Yeah, barge into it.
So that's a no. Yeah.
And then Claudio's just kind of
oh, fine. Your loss. Really good match. Showing the strength of both of these competitors. No complaints, apart from, like you say, maybe a disappointing end, potentially.
Yeah. But I'm a House of Black mark, so
so
House of Black shirt. So.
It's obvious what you're going to want. Okay, next we go for probably the most anticipated match of 0 Hour. For the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships, you've got the Guns, Austin and Colton Gunn, versus MJF and the stand-in Samoa Joe. But MJF caved and agreed to have Samoa Joe be in his corner.
Yeah, hand on Rampage.
Yes, which I think we expected.
Yeah,
it's sort of is leaning the most way. So
I kind of expected it more to happen halfway in the match as opposed to preempted on Rampage or anything. Like MJF comes out and starts fighting on his own, and then Joe would turn up.
Yeah, we had MJF being thrown at the turnbuckle, but Samoa Joe just like putting his body in the way, so MJF just hit him instead.
Do you know, it's on the way back when he did it, and MJF looks at him, he's just like walking past with the thumbs up.
I got you back.
That's great.
But MJF through this whole match is very torn. He wants to win, but he doesn't want to need Samoa Joe's help. I think.
Well, it's because he doesn't want to give Joe a title match.
No, but at the same time, he wants to keep the tag championship
for his brochacho for life.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a tough situation to be in, I suppose. What was pretty cool was the Guns hitting excuse me if I say it wrong, a 310 to Yuma. Mm-hmm. My bad. On Samoa Joe, which was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I was surprised at that. I was like, no way they're gonna. Oh my god, they just hit it on him.
Mm-hmm. Did it. And then partway. Oh, does this come to the finish? I think it does. If you got anything to interject?
No, great match all around. I thought it was fantastic. Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
Most of my notes about the finish. So.
Yeah. So the finish is probably the most entertaining bit. Adam Cole's music plays, and out he comes with his crutches.
Hobbles out with his crutches.
Hobbles along, but sufficiently distracting the Guns, which allows Joe to put the Kakuna clutch. Kakuna clutch. I can never say these things. I apologize. On Colton Gunn. MJF is holding Austin Gunn's legs so he can't intervene. So makes Colton tap out.
Yep.
MJF and Adam Cole retain the championships.
Yeah, technically.
Yeah, they do. Samoa Joe didn't retain anything. He just helped win the match.
Well, he retained his title match, I guess.
Yes. Yeah. And I think he deserves it after that show, to be honest.
Yeah. We predicted the Guns to win, so obviously we both got that one incorrect.
Sad times.
I think I probably should have changed it. I was thinking about changing it after we saw Joe as the partner, but I was like, I still felt like the Guns should have gone over on this one.
But I guess to that vein, after the match finished, the Guns attack MJF.
Yep.
Samoa Joe's already left, and by this point, he's not aligned anymore, so he wasn't going to help anyway.
Yeah, he's done his job. What more does he need to do, right?
Weakening MJF at this point only plays into Samoa Joe's favour.
Uh-huh.
So they put the chair on his leg and hit him with moves.
Well, they jump off the ropes onto the chair leg, effectively jarring the ankle and the knee of MJF's leg.
Yeah, MJF gets stretchered out to an ambulance and driven away, but before the doors close,
Adam!
He does yell, Adam! And he makes Adam Cole promise that he won't let Jay White take his championship away.
Yeah.
And Adam Cole promises, and I was like, don't make that promise! Don't do it, because he's on a crutch.
But he did.
He did.
Anyway,
there was a great match.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed particularly seeing how the dynamic of the match just changes instantly the moment Samoa Joe gets in the ring. It's just a shift, and you can just see the fear in the Gun's eyes.
He's just like a tall bulldozer, but he's bad, right?
Yeah. There we go. That's 0 hour.
Yep.
So we move on to our main show. I always want to say main event, but it's the whole show. It's Full Gear, and we open with the trios match. So we've got the Patriarchy, Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne versus Adam Copeland, Sting, and Darby Allin, who are accompanied by Ric Flair. Woo! Woo!
Instead of putting Adam Copeland, Sting, and Darby Allin on my notes, I just put the Patriarchy versus Adam Gang.
Adam Gang.
Adam Gang.
Team Adam. Adam!
Oh god, we got all 3 Adams in AEW on this event.
Yes, it's the Adam event. So Christian is sung to the ring by a children's choir.
Yeah, that was weird.
It's very weird. No offense to him.
Yeah.
Not a very good one.
No.
I think they just had the mic turned up on like the worst child. So I'm sure they were fine.
One of them was flat.
Yeah, it was a bit cringe, but I think that was how it's meant to be.
One of them was flatter than MJF's knee.
And then you have Team Adam entering with baseball bats.
Yep.
Not that they're going to use them, but they had this cool thing with the spotlight and holding the baseball bats in there. And Adam Copeland has half face paint done, which is pretty cool.
They all had sort of matching ring jackets.
Yeah, they looked awesome.
Yeah.
And what was also pretty cool is after they came into Adam Copeland's music.
Yeah, Alter Bridge. Yeah.
And after the music cut out, the crowd just kept on singing.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen them do that for that music before, so it was pretty cool.
The only one they've really done it for previously is Judas.
Yeah.
But that's kind of expected because Jericho kind of, not demands it, but he kind of encourages it.
Plays into it, and it's been going for ages.
Yeah.
So yeah, I liked it. We had a moment with Ric Flair and Christian facing off. And Ric Flair like takes his jacket off and he starts like hitting Christian, and then Christian does a massive low blow on the poor old man.
Runs in with it.
And it's so painful. But at this time, so then the ref is distracted by Christian, trying to get him to stop attacking an old man, as you do.
Father of the year, I'm telling you.
I think. But Christian then tries to attack Adam Copeland with the belt.
The TNT title.
But hits Luchasaurus instead.
Oh, he ground him so hard.
Yeah. And Copeland chases Christian. And Christian just like leaves.
Oh, he hightailed it.
Through the crowd. Off he goes. And that does bring us nicely to the finish, in case you've got anything to highlight before we get there.
The code red that Darby Allin hit off the top, I think it was on Nick Wayne, that looked brutal.
Yeah.
That was insane. Yeah, I thought it was a good match. It was a great showing for both teams.
Definitely.
I know you don't like Christian Cage, but he is fantastic.
Yeah, he's the character plays it really well.
Yeah. And I keep making comments like, "Oh, Dad of the Year, he's your favourite," and that's and it's funny because it winds you up a little bit. It's fun. Yeah.
It's all in good fun.
Yeah, obviously with the Christian Cage running out, it does mean that Adam Copeland didn't even get a touching of Christian Cage. They didn't have any physical alteration apart from Adam trying to grab his ankle, and that was it.
Yeah,
that was the closest they had to any physical altercation. So
they're probably going to have plenty of chances in the future.
Yeah, it'll ramp up. It'll ramp up.
Yeah, it will. So taking advantage of the whack that Luchasaurus took, I think they do a few moves.
Taking advantage of the belting that he took.
I was already still writing notes when various moves were being done to Luchasaurus, but I think the last one was the coffin drop from Darby.
Yeah, so Stinger hits the Stinger splash in the corner. Adam Copeland hits a spear, and then Allin drops a coffin drop.
Yeah, and then Adam Copeland pins him, I think.
Was it Nick Wayne or Luchasaurus? I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was Luchasaurus.
Might be, I can't remember.
Just got crowned.
I think you're right.
But the Team Adam wins.
The Adam Gang. In terms of our predictions, we both got that one correct.
Whoop, whoop.
I was a bit, when I saw Ric Flair come out, I was like, and he started taking his jacket off, I thought, oh no, here we go.
Please don't.
But it wasn't enough to distract from the match. I think it was just the right amount. It was enough distraction to sort of have the shenanigans going on from Team Cage and the Patriarchy. Yeah,
it didn't seem like he was trying to draw the spotlight to himself.
Yeah. And obviously, Karen.
No, yeah, I agree. It was done really well, just sort of subtle enough, but to show he was there, but not to make him the feature.
Yeah.
Definitely. Following the match, they give Sting a moment in the ring because this is his last time wrestling in California.
This sort of Darby grabs. That's where I was going to go. So I said, Cara, there's obviously Darby gets the mic and he's like, "This is Sting's last match in California. Make some noise."
Yeah,
and he sort of giving them, and then they start playing here. Obviously, they played his music at the end as well, regardless of Darby Allin getting the pinfall. They played Sting's entrance music.
Yeah, that was a nice moment. Really eventful match. Great storytelling and character development. It was all good. We had a bit of filler.
Yep.
Just a DraftKings ad. I don't mind these. It's the main sponsor.
Yeah.
And they're very short and made relevant.
Like easily less than a minute.
Yeah, so it's all good.
And it does kind of like ask you quite like what was it? What's going to get hit first? The Heat Seeker or the Kiwi? What's it called? The Kiwi Killer, I think it's called. The move. He hasn't done that in a while, but it's all stuff like that. Like is it going to be submissions? Is it going to be pinfalls? Is it going to be disqualification? It's all relevant to the thing. It's not just like we were saying with the WWE stuff. Slight tangent is that I can't remember the network, but it's got that stupid little mascot dressing as Charlotte Flair and walking around like she's Charlotte Flair. I'm like, this is just cringe.
Yeah,
this is just so cringe. Or the Pizza Hut one. From the I can't remember which pay-per-view it was or PLE it was, where they're coming out with Pizza Hut. Come on, really?
So weird. There we go. Anyways. So we now go to Toni Schiavone, who is with Bryce Rimsberg at the top of the ramp. And they bring out Jay White. Although they bring out Jay White to the Guns music, but this is fine. It's okay. And Jay did a good job of like leaning into it, making a thing. So this is fine. But they do this to announce that MJF is injured, and Tony Schiavone says the match is cancelled, and he starts saying
by default.
By default, Jay White is the new, and then Adam Cole's music hits.
It's all about the boom.
Yes. Out comes Adam Cole, hobbling on his crutches, and says that he's already talked to Tony Khan, and that he will be wrestling in MJF's place. The match will go ahead. The title will be defended, whether he's got one leg or not. So, and then they're like, nah.
Yeah,
no. He must be bringing someone else in. So then we're speculating who he's going to bring in. I was like, oh, maybe the devil character shows up, or maybe the injury's a whole fake. And
yeah, I think it's like the whole injury thing is an absolute swerve, and he is the man in the devil mask.
Yes, so obviously, I'm sure everyone else in the crowd and at home is doing the same sort of speculating and wondering. So it just like adds to that build-up, which is quite fun. And then we go to our next match. This is for the AEW International Championship. We have Orange Cassidy, who's with Hook, versus Jon Moxley, who comes out with Wheeler Yuta.
Yep.
Yes. Obviously, there's blood.
Well, he came into the ring with a plaster on his head, so all you got to do is hit him a couple of times in the head, and it's going to start bleeding, right?
He came out ready to bleed. There's...
It's a pre-cut Moxley.
Pre-cut Moxley. I like it. We should advertise it. So Moxley has this a spot that he often does where he gets his opponent in the corner, he rakes their back with his nails and then bites them on the nose.
Yeah.
But what I enjoyed was Orange Cassidy returning the favour and doing exactly the same thing back.
That was weird.
It's good.
I don't think Orange quite knows how to do it properly, because when he was doing it, the fingers were kind of doing this as opposed to like digging in like this.
But it's partly how you're meant to do it, but it's meant to look a bit more like
But if I'm going to look at like that, I'm not going to put pressure on. I'm going to do this, and not like this.
But
he was just smoothing his back.
You can see the pressure marks while it's being done.
I didn't look as good to me as when Moxley does it.
He just hasn't got enough practice. He needs to do it more.
Yeah.
This is fine. We also have Orange using Hook's move, Red Rum, on Moxley. So in the process, Moxley manages to pull the turnbuckle pad off.
You could see because he was putting his arm right through it. And it was like, that turnbuckle's coming out, that pad's coming off.
Pulling it off. Although it is Moxley himself that goes into it later in the match.
Not once, but twice.
Yes. So if you're going to set it up, be prepared to take it. Them's the rules. Anything you want to highlight before we go on to the finish?
The other thing I've already got is that I enjoyed this one more than the first match they had. But too many sort of going into the ending a little bit. It was the Orange Punch jamboree almost.
Yes, Orange Punch City.
I'll let you.
Yeah, I've basically I have written it as Orange hits a million orange punches and a beach break.
I think there must have been like 6 or 7.
It has to be.
I think easy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's at least half a dozen.
There's a lot, and you've just got Moxley like in various states of toppling, but not going down, like he's invincible. But yeah, after the beach break, Orange.
The bitch break.
Beach break. Orange pins Moxley to win and retain.
Yeah. The thing I put with the Orange Punch is that it makes the move look weak.
Yeah.
So the Orange Punch is supposed to be this devastating hit, and Moxley just like absorbed like 6 to 8 of them, whatever it was, and he's just still up. And it's like, well, either that makes Moxley look like Superman, or that makes the Orange Punch look like a piece of paper hitting you in the face.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't like that.
It is a David and Goliath story. Moxley looks almost invincible, and Orange Cassidy overcomes with sheer determination. But at the same time, like you say, it's the curse of the finishing move, where eventually it gets less and less effective because people start kicking out of it and to look like superhuman. But this has been like going from one punch is all it takes to it needs 6 or 7. So it devalues the move.
It's almost like Brock Lesnar hitting like 10 F5s and someone kicking out of it. That's just not going to happen.
And now hitting the Orange Punch on someone in future, if they are knocked out by it straight away, they're going to look really weak because Moxley could take half a dozen.
So what I think the new gimmick Orange Cassidy needs to do now, right? And I popped in my head as I was talking about this, is that I only popped into my head with Orange Cassidy. I thought that a wrestler should come in and be like, I don't have many moves, but every time he wrestles and beats someone, it's almost like he takes a move that they use.
I like it.
So Orange Cassidy could use the nose biting thing off Moxley.
Mm-hmm.
He could use the red run from Hook if he's beaten Hook.
Yeah.
Like it's things like that.
Like
so he could almost
power from
yeah, like a leech almost.
Yeah.
And then anyone he beats, he kind of takes one of their moves to put into his own repertoire.
I like that.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like a move vampire.
Ooh.
So Orange Cassidy is now a move vampire.
Ooh, we'll talk more about vampires later, I'm sure.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Oh, yeah.
After the match, there's a bit of an altercation where Wheeler Yuta shoulder barges Hook, and then Hook's getting in Wheeler Yuta's face.
Yeah.
So that's setting up for something later down the line.
Yeah, it'll probably be Wheeler Yuta taking on Hook, probably on Dynamite or Collision for the FTW title, I reckon. Something like that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That'd be a good match, though.
In terms of predictions, you got that one correct. I got that one incorrect.
Yay.
I felt that they were going to do a course correction on Moxley since he wasn't meant to lose the title, but yeah, I was wrong.
I was nearly convinced by you, but
I'm actually glad it went down this way as opposed to Moxley having it, because I don't think Moxley needs a title.
No, he does not. Okay, so we have a brief moment with Mark Briscoe, a recorded segment about the Continental Classic, and Mark Briscoe is declaring that he is in.
Yep.
So that'd be cool.
That's number 3, participant number 3.
So
do you know the previous 2 announced are?
Nope.
Brian Danielson and Andrade El Idolo.
Yeah. Awesome. So I think that's starting in the next week or so.
It's starting on Dynamite, I believe.
On Dynamite? That's right.
The combination will be at World End. It's a round-robin tournament.
Yes.
So they're kind of taking inspiration from the G1 Climax tournament and the Super Junior tournament from New Japan.
It'd be cool. It'd be good. I mean, looking forward to it. You get some matchups that we wouldn't
It's usually everyone
storylines.
fights everyone.
Yeah.
And it's for anyone who doesn't know what a round-robin tournament is, everyone fights everyone, and you get points based on whatever the outcome, like if it's a draw or a win or whatever.
It'd be good. And then we get to our next match. For the AEW Women's World Championship, we have the Hollywood homecoming of Timeless Toni Storm versus Hikaru Shida. It was a fun match. It was fun. There was a sort of mixture of Shida, who's a very serious wrestler. She's all about striking, but she's got some other great stuff that she can do. And then Toni Storm, who's basically just slapstick. Yeah. Just overacting every reaction. And
I love the beginning when she comes in and she's usually handing the script to the opponents, and the opponents are ripping him in half. This time it's Toni Storm sort of standing there reading, and she looks Shida dead in the eye and she just and throws it, and there's just pages of the script all over the ring, and it's like, oh, okay, here we go.
Flipping the script.
Script is out the window.
I quite enjoyed the moment where you've got Luther on the outside of Toni Storm, and he hands her a shoe, but also puts the other of the pair down Toni Storm's shorts. So Aubrey sees the shoe that's in the hand and takes it out, but as she's like throwing it out of the ring, Toni is able to use the one from her shorts, and it finds its mark right between Shida's eyes.
That was brutal.
The other point I've written is also shoe related. Toni Storm takes Shida's shoe off. Yeah. With obviously intending to attack Shida with it. But Shida counters.
No, it was to do with damaging the ankle.
Oh, okay. It ends up just flying into the crowd. It gets so much airtime. It's like
it really did.
In the atmosphere at this point, I think.
It's probably in orbit.
Into the air. But Shida is angered by this, and she gets the kendo stick. And Aubrey is yelling at her to not waste her chance, kind of thing. Even though if she was disqualified, she'd keep the championship, but it's still a loss. Yeah, but that's a whole thing. But then she just attacks Luther with it instead, because that's fine.
Because he kind of goes to sort of swing it, and Luther almost seemed like he wasn't in the right place at the right time, because she did end up getting his swing through, and then she brought it back, and then he catches it, and it's like, someone messed up.
Someone messed up, but it's all good.
They commentated well enough.
But this does mean that there is a distraction. The ref is distracted, and Toni Storm, she gets this little metal tray type thing. I don't know what it was.
I don't even know what that
little
was.
Tray, and she shoves it down her tights. It's blatantly visible, but under her shorts because it's just under the tights and like below on her thigh. But we know what's coming. So, anything you want to highlight before we get to the finish?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So Toni hits the hip attack on Shida in the corner with the metal tray still on her hip, which is attacking, and is able to pin Shida following that.
So metal plate to the face.
Yeah, pretty much. So Toni Storm becomes the 3-time Women's World Champion.
And the second one ever. The only real notes, I tend to keep my notes sparse for this because I know you get a lot of notes. So it's the only one I've got is the end spot didn't really go as planned. But Storm did kind of accent it well, and the way she was sort of fiddling, trying to get it up back into the position for the hip attack. It was very over the top and did almost look deliberate.
Yes.
And I thought she imposed that really well.
Yeah, it was really good. It clearly had gone lower on her hip than it needed to.
I think she meant to put it on the back of her shorts, but not the tights.
Right.
But it slipped into the tights, and I think that's why it kept moving so much. I think. Maybe.
There you go. It still worked. She made it work.
Yeah.
And then in the finish, she's like Luther's hiding it away. Which is quite fun.
In terms of predictions, you got that one incorrect, and I got that one correct.
So we're even so far.
So far.
Things will change, I'm sure. So we have Mariah May's been watching backstage with really over-the-top exaggerated reactions, but I guess she's trying to emulate Toni Storm, so it's fine, I suppose. But she comes down to the ring with a bouquet of flowers, which Toni just like rips out of her hands, and she's like just flinging them around the place. So gives her her flowers. And Luther basically carries her out of the ring.
Yeah, effectively.
Puts her down on the ramp.
He's like standing there spinning around. You can see he's like...
She's not a small lady.
No, I'm not saying that she isn't, she's not like... it's obviously he was holding it for quite a while. Yeah. And he was spinning around. And I think that was kind of where he was taking its toll, as opposed to, oh my god, look how big Toni Storm is.
No, he's not like a muscly
I'm not going to size shame anyone because I can't really speak. But
she got curves. And not an insult.
Yeah. No. But you can see that after like 5 or 6 rotations, Luther was like, I need to stop.
All right, then. So next we go to an interview with Eddie Kingston, where he announces that he's in the Continental Classic as well, and he's putting both his belts on the line.
Yeah.
So that tournament is very high stakes.
So I think the exact wording was in every single match, both belts will be on the line. So it's the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship and the Ring of Honor World Championship. So whoever wins the Continental Classic will literally be a Triple Crown winner because they'll have the Continental Classic Championship or whatever they want to call it, as well as these 2 belts. I don't know if it's going to be a title belt awarded like the Owen Hart Classic or if it's just going to be a status. I don't know. It's
a bit... If it's on the line every match, it's a points thing. So I don't know if that necessarily means the winner of the tournament.
But that's kind of where they pushed it. So
I'll have to see how that goes, I suppose.
Because someone might beat Eddie Kingston and then be like, "Yeah, that punch on the line." Yeah.
We'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, I think it might just be a bit of weird wording on it.
Yeah, maybe. We'll find out in due course, I'm sure. All right, and then we go to the ladder match. This was turned into a ladder match after the fact. After our predictions. So we've got Kings of the Black Throne, Malachi Black and Brody King, versus La Facción
Ingobernables.
That one. I'm so sorry.
Ingobernables. There we go.
I was trying to write it down, and then the cards weren't up for very long on the screen. I was like, oh no.
Why didn't you ask?
I could have Googled it. But that's Rouge and Dralistico.
Yeah. I think they're brothers as well. I think they're actual brothers.
For the commentators, we're talking about them being brothers. FTR, which is Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, versus Absolute Ricky Starks and Big Bill, who don't have a team name as far as I'm aware.
Absolutely big.
Absolutely massive. And this is for the AEW Tag Team Championships. Absolutely Bill.
Bill Starks.
Okay.
Big Ricky.
Big Ricky.
I just thrown a name.
They need a name. This is a great match. There was so much going on. And some things that I've not seen before in a ladder match.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's the only note I've already got on this one.
All right, so I got a couple of highlights.
Yeah,
so there was a moment where we've got Cash and Roosh climbing the ladder, and they... No, wait, I think it was Dax. Can't remember now. You can... When you hear, it'll refresh your memory, and you can refresh mine, maybe. So they both climb the ladder, see each other over the top.
It was Cash.
In
I'm
tandem.
90% certain it was Cash.
Cool. I'm not trusting my own notes. They both just walk back down the ladder, both pick up the ladder and move it to the side, and then get to fighting.
I'm like 90% certain that was Cash.
I think so. And so much of the time you've got two people that get up the ladder and they just beat each other at the top. So these guys are like, no, we want a proper fight. Get back down. Get that out of the way.
They're probably like, it's too early. It's too early for that. You're not weakened enough. Let's do this properly.
Then we've got the meat sandwich. So it's Big Bill and Brody King are the biggest guys in this match, and they've got meat chants going all over the crowd. And you've got both of them, and on the outside of them, you've got, this time it is Dax and Roosh with ladders, and they just slam the ladders into these guys a couple of times in different combinations, and then slam the ladders into each other.
Yeah,
that's good fun. But then probably the most interesting ladder spot is you've got Cash Wheeler and Malachi Black in the ring. Malachi's on the ropes, and there's a ladder like standing up, leaning against the ropes.
Which Malachi put there.
Yes. Cash Wheeler goes to run towards Malachi to attack him, and Malachi just sort of whips the rope up.
Yeah, he's gonna...
The ladder just flies into Cash's face. It's amazing. Never seen... It didn't even touch the ladder. Malachi didn't touch it.
Yeah.
Just used the ropes against him.
That's my favourite spot in the match. I literally called it the slingshot ladder.
Ooh, I like it. I've not seen anything like that before.
Nope.
It's good. You like it?
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I thought it was great.
Anything else you want to highlight?
Nope.
You said that was your only note. Okay, so both Ricky Starks and Dax Howard are on the ladder. Malachi Black manages to pull Dax Howard down. Starks goes to fall off, but Big Bill catches him, puts him back up. Starks climbs up, grabs the belts, and they retain the championships.
Yep. Yeah, there's some brutal spots in this match. I thought it was fantastic. It was, you don't want to really take your eyes off the screen too much to make notes because there's so much going on. It's like, oh my God.
Exactly.
Yeah. In terms of predictions, you got that one incorrect. I got that one correct.
No. I'm on my losing streak.
That's one way to put it.
I can get better. Who knows?
Let's see how many we lose in a row, shall we?
Oh no.
Two
so far. We get an ad for World's End, which is a first-time pay-per-view on
Not to be
December 30th.
confused with the Cornetto Trilogy movie.
Yes. Both fun, I'm sure. And then our next match is for the TBS Championship. We have Kris Statlander, who's the current champion, versus Skye Blue and Julia Hart from House of Black.
Yep. All members of House of Black are in show tonight.
Skye Blue comes out with new music, metal music.
Yeah.
Very
that was cool. That was really cool.
She takes off her baseball cap, throws it on the ground and stamps on it, and replaces it with a crown of like black and blue roses.
Yeah.
And I think I'm in love.
It looked so cool.
It was so cool.
So cool.
She's got like proper, really dark eyeliner with just like, I don't know, it's so cool. Check it out. It's good stuff. So she's gone way down the dark route, and I like it. There's part of this match where Kris Statlander seems very confused that Skye Blue is attacking her. And she literally says, "You're meant to be on my side." And I'm just here thinking, this is a three-way match for a championship. So, no.
Does the champion ever have any friends, really, when you think about it?
Everyone in this match is on their own side.
Everyone in the wrestling industry is in it to win a title.
If you're
this is a title match.
Fine, but no.
You are a champion. You do not have friends.
Don't have friends. That's a whole thing.
Stupid alien.
Talking about alliances, I suppose. There's a moment where Skye Blue offers her left hand to Julia to shake. And Julia does shake it, and then it caresses Skye Blue's face, and then attacks her.
Well, I wouldn't say caresses. She's kind of like...
She caresses one side,
and then she kind of holds the chin, kind of talking to her,
Yes, that was a cool moment.
It almost felt like a "you belong to me" kind of moment, but then that didn't go as planned.
Yeah, then they're just going to attack each other, but it kind of leaves it open a bit more to. We still don't know how things are with them and whether they will become aligned at some point. Who knows? Anything you want to highlight?
No, I thought this was a great match. It was really hard hitting. There wasn't any really slow moments or any botches or bad moments because, like we've talked before, that a lot of the female matches can sometimes, feel a bit choreographed, a bit stage performance. There was none of that in this.
No, there really wasn't. I think there was it one moment where, no, I'm thinking of a different match where it looked like someone very deliberately put their legs near the rope so that they could be pulled out for a pin break, but I think that was actually in a men's match.
Yeah, it was.
So yeah, I didn't know there was any problems in it. It was just a great match.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Really good.
So I'm not quite sure what it was. A pile driver. Statlander hit a pile driver.
It wasn't the Saturday Night Fever.
Was it that one?
I think it was Saturday Night Fever.
I didn't catch the name of it, and I was like, I know this move. Like, it's some kind of pile driver kind of move. It's fine. She hits that on Skye Blue and pins her, but before the count hits, Julia Hart hits a lariat, I think, it was like a low lariat, on Statlander, and takes over the pin.
She kind of rolls over onto Skye Blue.
And wins. So Julia Hart is the new TBS champion.
Hey, Leanne, the house always wins.
The house always wins. It's very cool. It was great. Yeah. A really interesting finish. I'm not sure. You don't get a lot of interrupted pins that still mean that a pin happens.
Usually you don't usually, yeah.
So yeah, it just shows how out of it Skye Blue must have been.
So, like, in terms of predictions, you got that one incorrect because you picked Skye Blue. I picked Julia Hart as my want to win.
Yeah.
I legit thought the Statlander was going to retain, but I wanted to see, and I figured that was going to be my throwaway, but I ended up getting it right.
It pays off.
And I was like, ah!
And that sort of gambling paying off leads us nicely into the next spot, which is a DraftKings ad.
No, I should have put a bet on.
I know, right? I don't endorse gambling.
No, we don't. I've never gambled in my
Gamble
life.
responsibly.
Well, I know I gambled when anyway.
It's going to be mushy now.
No, carry on.
All right, so then Toni Schiavone's back. Whee!
Toni Schiavone.
He's in the ring to introduce the new signee to AEW, who is Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Can't get my fingers out enough to... There you go.
You got the wrong shaped hands. Yeah. So he comes out, signs the contract, and he has the mic, and he explains that he's still on contract with New Japan. He needs to see that through to the end before he can actually start with AEW. But honestly, that just shows the relationship between those two companies, that they were okay with. He was allowed to sign a new contract ready with the faith that he would fulfill the contract he's already in. Yeah. So yeah, it's just... And the companies work well together.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Forbidden Door, you've had other crossovers and stuff like that as well. I mean, Moxley's been to Japan. Bryan Danielson, rather, is apparently facing Okada at Wrestle Kingdom in January. There's that crossover, Yeah. I think Eddie Kingston's facing Hanare at some point as well on a New Japan show soon, I think. I don't think it's happening. I'm a bit behind on New Japan at the moment. But yeah, that whole cohesion thing, and it popped in my head when after that, and obviously, like, as soon as you hear the of his music, the crowd's like, ah, and I'm like, knew it was Ospreay. I knew it was Ospreay. And it was like the one thing that popped in my head. It was like, oh wait a minute. We've got Mark Davis, we've got Kyle Fletcher, we've got Will Ospreay. That's 3 members of United Empire currently under contract with AEW.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Ooh. And obviously you've got Great Khan, you've got Hanare, you've got Callum Newman, who's still in New Japan Pro Wrestling, so they're holding up United Empire there. So it's almost like, it's kind of like the Bullet Club in a sense, the way they're kind of putting groups across 2 different companies, and I think that's great.
Definitely.
Love it.
It just goes to show that great things can happen when companies work together. So you can take it that
one thing I'll tell you what is, and I said this when he came out, is that WWE are going to be so annoyed at this. Will Ospreay was teasing matches with Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins was replying to them. Yeah. And then he goes and signs a contract with AEW.
But I mean, the money might be more in WWE, but that working relationship between AEW and New Japan was probably a very attractive thing for him.
This means that he can probably still work a lot of the big events. And the one thing as well he did say, which I caught was very New Japan inspired, is that he said that when his contract expires, he didn't say February specifically, he said it's going to be the road to Revolution. All the big events in New Japan, it's the road to this, it's the road to that, it's the road to Dominion. It's the road to Fighting Spirit. It's the road to Wrestle Kingdom. They always do and that's like the build-up matches. So I won't be surprised if they start using some of that in AEW as well, which I think is really cool.
Definitely.
You know, the only time WWE tend to use it is the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
But there's more to wrestling than just WrestleMania. There's Royal Rumble, there's Survivor Series, there's SummerSlam. Why isn't it called the Road to SummerSlam? We're on the road to SummerSlam. We're on the road to Survivor Series. You know? And I think that's something that New Japan does really well. It's like the build-up to that. It's all the matches kind of lead into that.
Yeah, builds up the excitement.
When they were going into I think it was Dominion, and you had Sonata was going to face Evil for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, and it was all about just 5 guys versus House of Torture, and you'd have so many different sort of combinations of the guys sort of fighting each other. I thought it was great.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, next match. This is the Texas Deathmatch between Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. Swerve.
Hey, Leanne. Whose house?
Swerve's house.
Swerve's house.
He comes out with Prince Nana, with dancers also, which is pretty fun. Great, nice. Hangman Adam Page doesn't get an entrance. Of his own choice, he just rushes down as soon as Swerve's in the ring.
Well, but the sort of Swerve grabs a microphone, doesn't he? And he hands it off to Nana, and Nana's like, "Whose house? Swerve's house. Whose house? Swerve's house." And I'm like, in about 5 seconds, it's going to be Hangman's house. And this is before I knew what was going to happen. And then probably literally about 5 to 10 seconds later, Hangman's just bum rushing the ring and destroying Swerve. I was like, I didn't expect that, but okay, I told you.
It charges in. The start of this match, he's just decimating Swerve.
Oh, he was just destroying him, man.
Crazy. Okay. Things that are used in this match.
Oh, no.
A chair.
Yeah.
Is
this in order?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or in order of appearance.
Yeah.
But no repeats.
Gotcha.
Duct tape. Namely Swerve's wrists. Duct tape together. Staple gun to chest. Also a piece of paper to face. And later on, specifically a piece of the child's drawing that Swerve destroyed in the house.
The paper went to his arm, then the child's drawing was on. Because he tries in this cheek, and it just falls off. And he tries in that cheek, and it stays. And it's like, God.
Yep, so we've already got blood.
So does the child's drawing count as a weapon?
I've included it in the list. It's in brackets, though, with the staple gun. Barbed wire wrapped chair. Piece of barbed wire on its own, as you do. A cinder block. A bag of glass, which is poured onto Hangman's back, and then Swerve dives onto it. So that gets both of them.
Yeah. That was painful.
A barbed wire wrapped board, which also has a design on it.
I wouldn't say it was wrapped. It was more like it was flat with the thing stapled onto it.
With the staple gun.
Yeah.
I've in my list of things that were used, I've also got Brian Cage, who gets barbed wired. And also Prince Nana gets involved, so he's in the list, and he goes through a table.
Yep.
And then a chain, which leads to the finish, which we'll get to in a minute.
Yeah.
There is a lot of blood.
Yeah.
We saw, I think, that Hangman Page bladed after he gets staple
gunned. It looked
gunned.
like he was fiddling with his wrist tape and pulling something.
It didn't look to me that when he got staple gunned that it actually connected. So I think that he bladed to make it happen, which is fine. It's as long as they do it safely, I'm happy. Swerve is like dripping in blood from barbed wire.
Pouring, yeah.
Pouring. And Hangman, this is where we get back to the vampire thing. He lies on the ground.
This is quite early on the match as well, yeah.
Leans Swerve over him.
Yeah.
And the blood literally dripping. And Hangman just has his mouth open and just lets it drip in his mouth. And the crowd's just like... You
sick F. Chant starts off.
Really, yeah.
And the Hangman did get up and he's like, kind of spits out like Triple H style. But yeah it was like...
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
But I'm still going to stand by my comment from the predictions. Where has this Hangman been all along?
I know, it's brutal.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's like getting hit on cinder blocks. We're pretty sure Hangman's head gets cracked open when he's like pile driven into the top of the barrier, the crowd barrier.
The barricade.
So the ref's checking on him constantly. There's blood. Like,
I think he kind
flowing.
of literally just like looking at the top of his head, and he's like,
"Is it okay?" So you got concussion worries at that point. If you split your head open, something that might be wrong, but they let him continue. So we're happy.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did do a concussion check after the match.
Yeah, probably did.
Probably on both of them, let's be honest. Wasn't there a point where the chair just got flung at Swerve and it just smacks him?
So, anything that you would like to highlight before we get to the finish? I know I usually spend ages on these matches, but I don't want to take away from the other matches on the card.
Yeah. No, it was brutal. Hangman, obviously, as you said, didn't waste any time. He ran to the ring and he just bum rushed him and he just killed him. I mean, within the first like 2 minutes, he hits him with a buckshot lariat, and it's like, God, okay, this is nuts. And that's when he obviously goes to the duct tape and the stapler. Yeah. I do think that it might have been a bit too long. Yeah. I do felt the match, it didn't, I don't want to say dragged because that's not the right term, but I felt that maybe went on too long. They probably could have shaved maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 at a push. I'm not sure what the length of this match was. Maybe just a few less staples. Like the staple stuff was nuts. I'm going to just quickly find out how much long the match is while you carry on, but the staple stuff was nuts. And it's you're like, oh, it's probably not going to, it's not going to be real. They're not going to be real staples and stuff. And then they zoom in and it's like literally sticking out of Swerve's chest. And it's like, yeah, it's real. And that child's picture was definitely stapled to his face. Oh yeah, that stuck there. And then he ripped it off and it just, the blood starts. It's like, oh my God, this is nuts. Terrible, but great. But yeah, I thought it was great. I thought it was a fantastic match. Like, I'm not, a death match like this can go one of two ways. Yeah. It can either go like this, or it can just fall really flat. Yeah. And I said the only qualm I've got of this is that it did feel a bit too long, maybe. It was quite long. 29 minutes and 55 seconds. It is the longest match on the card. Yeah. By 10 seconds. Only 10 seconds? Yeah. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I will tell you what the match is that was the longest at the end. Okay. We may or may not have already covered it. Okay. Right. So throughout this match, because the only way to win is knockout or submission. Or submission, yeah. Nobody went for any submissions. Not really. No, they didn't. So the way they're doing the knockout is a 10 count to get up. There's many points through the match where both guys are down and the ref's counting and like gets to 9 and then they're like stumbling to their feet, like barely standing up. We should probably mention Slippy Shoes Hangman. Oh, his shoes have no grip. The moment there was blood on them, he was just like sliding all over the place. Terrible. Get better shoes, Hangman. Whose house? Slippy Hangman's house. Slippy Page. That's his name now. We've got both men on the outside, and Swerve grabs what's left of the cinder block because it's already broken once, and just launches it at Hangman Adam Page's back. It shatters into a million pieces. It's obviously like a gimmick thing, but it's fine. It's probably more like a breeze block. Still gonna hurt. Yeah. It might be a breeze block. I don't know, construction things. So Hangman is down and is nearly counted out, but Swerve can see he's getting back up. So Swerve goes under the ring and gets out a big old chain. Wraps it around Hangman's neck and hangs the Hangman. Yeah. So Hangman's got his hand in there, so he's obviously like protecting himself. But this is still gonna choke you. Now I'm pretty sure that this is the way Hangman beat John Moxley when he had his Texas Deathmatch with him, but he was across the middle of the ropes and Hangman was in the ring. I'm pretty sure that's how that was won. So you got Swerve on the other end. It's looped over the turnbuckle. Yeah, he had a bit of trouble getting it over, but yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it gets to a 10 count. What was really good, actually, is that Hangman was clearly trying to get up when it got to that 10 count. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. He didn't make it look like he was just flat out. He wasn't out, but he was down, almost, you know? And he was still trying, but he is counted out, and Swerve wins. Yeah. Surprised by that. I literally thought they were going to do the rubber match thing, but yeah, in terms of, obviously, with the predictions, we both got that one incorrect. So that's 4 wrong for Leanne in a row. Well, at least you got that one wrong as well. It makes me feel a little bit better. Yeah, true. All right, then we have a recap of the MJF situation, since that happened on 0 Hour. For anyone who tuned in to this but didn't watch that, they need to know what's happening. I don't know why you wouldn't, because it's free.
I don't know. Some
if you're
people.
but if you're paying for a pay-per-view, then why wouldn't you tune into the free stuff as well?
Very true. And this is the point where I think we'll get to...
All right, hang on. Let me just... Yeah, okay, we're safe. I got the lighter here, so she can't set me on fire again.
It still smells of fire.
Okay, we're good.
And signs of the pay-per-view. And signs of the pay-per-view.
Cool. Okay.
Careful. It's fragile.
Is it? Why?
No reason. It's fine. Nothing's happened. There were loads of signs right from the start. It was just like, I had a long list. I had to actually go through and choose them because there were too many.
Crown Jewel will be better.
There are some that you would have seen that wouldn't have made the list. So top 3 we're going with. In third place, internet wrestling fans suck because
they do.
Hashtag not all internet wrestling fans, because we count, but...
I'm pretty sure the other... Well, it's I think the other side of the sign had an IWC with a no logo, like similar, like a no smoking logo.
Yeah.
IWC being internet wrestling community.
Ah.
Because a lot of the internet wrestling community are just dicks.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. All you've got to do is respect other people's opinions.
There's so much toxicity in the wrestling community online. It's nuts.
Yeah.
I'm sick of seeing all the negativity.
That gets in because it's true. Second place, do a flip. There are some matches that person must have been so happy because they'd lifted up when someone went to the top. They do a flip. And it's like, yeah, they did what I told them to do.
Do you think that's the guy that had the thumbs up sign on the other side or something?
No, it wasn't. That had something else on the other side, which I cannot remember.
Right.
And in first place, imagine cool sign here.
I missed that one.
It was on the back of "This is not a sign."
Oh, was it? Oh, we saw that one. I saw that one. Yeah. I saw that one.
One of them wasn't a sign, but the other one, you can just put whatever you think's there. So I thought that was quite creative. It's the most lazy form of being creative. So there we go. Thank you for watching Leanne Signs of a Pay-Per-View. Leanne Signs of a Pay-Per-View.
That flew quite well.
That's pretty good. And now we'll see whether the WWE universe is gonna show up. Because I don't know how much more that sign can take. Okay.
We're still good. I just got to keep a hold of this.
Usually I try and put this segment in where a sign is relevant, but the 3 signs I chose weren't relevant to any specific match. So I did
kind of wonder why you're doing it now instead of yeah. Cool.
I wanted to give a bit of a gap for the main event, because this one is not the main event. Oh. It's not time.
It's not time for the main event.
So this match is between the Golden Jets, who is Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, versus the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson.
Yep.
And this is for, if the Jets win, they get the Young Bucks title shot that they have guaranteed.
Yeah.
And if the Bucks win, Golden Jets disbands.
Yeah, they can no longer team ever again.
So high stakes. And we have good old Don Callis on commentary.
That guy.
So right from very near the start, we have the Young Bucks targeting Jericho's Judas Effect arm, which starts with trapping it in the steel steps and slamming it in there. Yeah. Which causes some damage. There is blood already.
I'm assuming he nicked it as opposed to blading. It's a weird place to blade otherwise.
And it wasn't just one cut. Yeah. I think there's probably sharp edges on those stairs, because it was the back of the stairs, the part where it connects to the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
But yeah, throughout then they're focusing on that arm, just trying to take it out. I don't think he does hit a Judas Effect.
I think he tries it with his left arm. It doesn't quite. It's more like a spinning back elbow as opposed to a Judas Effect. So he doesn't try it now.
We got a load of low blows happening.
Oh god!
Nick Jackson hits a low blow on Jericho.
It's like they used the low blow on Penta and Commander on Dynamite, and it's like, oh, is this just a way to win a match, or is this a bit of a heel turn? So they're kind of teasing it, and here it's full blown. Oh god, there's a heel turn. There it is.
So the ref doesn't see this low blow, because otherwise
doesn't see any of them.
But Kenny saw it, and that's the thing, because Kenny's meant to be their friend. They're meant to be his friend, and it's well, just play fair.
Yeah. Play fair.
Play fair.
Dear God, we're in a schoolyard.
But then Nick also hits a low blow on Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny turns around and Nick just swings, and it's like... Oh.
And that's where you know that friendship's not going to be the same ever again.
Yeah, the Elite, well, I guess some bits of the Elite are fine, but...
Yeah, it was already, just the fact this match is happening, there's a rift there, but this just, like, solidifies it, really.
Well, it started off well, because they were, like tapping and fist bumping and all this kind of stuff. And...
They started off being respectful, but I think the Young Bucks just got frustrated and didn't feel like it was going their way. And they really don't like Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Anything you want to highlight?
I didn't feel this match was as frenetic as I was expecting. I was expecting this to be really fast-paced and all over the place, but it wasn't really that. It was good. We saw a lot of people trying to steal moves and stuff, like we talked about earlier. The Bucks were trying to get the Walls of Jericho on Jericho, and I think there was Matt trying to get the Winged Angel on Kenny Omega. Obviously, there was, I don't know if you've got it, I can't remember how close it was to the end, but it looked like you had Jericho on one ropes and you had one of the Bucks on the other ropes, and Kenny was in the middle, and he was like, okay, I'm going to hit a V-trigger, who am I going to go for? And he puts his arm up and he points directly at Chris Jericho instead, bounces off the ropes, looked like he's going to crown Jericho with a V-trigger, instead hits the ropes and slams the Young Buck with it instead. It's like, oh, what a swerve!
It's a swerve. Keeps the Young Bucks on their toes.
Yeah.
I mean... It was an incredible match. There were moments, particularly when Kenny was in the ring, where it just goes into a bit of a frenzy. It's so controlled, but it's all like happening so fast. It's like, how on earth does this man move like that?
I just want to show you, doesn't it? Kenny really is the best bout machine.
He really is. He really is. It's amazing. And it's just always a joy to watch. All four of these guys are like right at the top of the list of people that you want to see wrestle. So it was great to see him. So we've got Kenny hitting Matt Jackson with a V trigger, followed by a one-winged angel, and Kenny pins Matt Jackson to win. Yeah. So they get the title shot. Yeah.
They steal it from the Bucks. In terms of predictions, you got that one incorrect. I got that one correct. That's 5 in a row.
Sounds about right. Don Callis is very happy.
Unhappy.
Unhappy, sorry, wrong one. The other one. But they've done damage to each other.
The Bucks aren't happy either, because they start throwing a bit of as they were calling it, a temper tantrum almost.
It really was, though, wasn't it? So Kenny sort of tries to like help them up and sort of be respectful, and then just throw it in his face. And then they're like throwing chairs around, slamming chairs into stuff.
They take their shoes off and throw them around.
Watch for the shoe.
I think with the ref when he gets hit by one of the shoes.
So.
I think it was this match.
And they mess up the commentators area, and they storm off, not happy. Yeah. I mean, I get they're not happy, and maybe it feels like they're losing a friend, but they kind of made that happen. Yeah,
in a sense with this now, I think that it's going to be interesting to see, because obviously we've got the Golden Jets have a title match against Big Bill and Ricky Starks. Yeah. That's going to be interesting. But also on the same or the opposite end of the track, as it were, is how are the Young Bucks going to recoup from this? Yeah. You know, they're obviously going to be turning heel now, and they're going to be seen as petulant children, as some people might call them, but I think it's a good thing that the Bucks sort of change their characters in the sense. They don't change the character, but they change the vibe of the character so often. It keeps it fresh.
Could they join the Don Callis family?
I was thinking that. I'd rather see them join Switchblade and Bullet Club.
Yeah. But the other thing I was thinking is they're reminding me a bit of the Guns attitude, so...
But I think, if anything, Don Callis will now be like, see, I told you Kenny wasn't good for you. Come and join me. I think, that is something that popped in my head as well. That's probably most likely. And obviously, with that, the Last Supper, I can't remember how many faces were up there off the top of my head now, but he's obviously been filling out
12 plus.
But he's filling out the faces with Powerhouse Hobbs, Cal Fletcher, Will Ospreay, I'm assuming he's going to be there, Sammy Guevara, Konosuke Takeshita. So none of them two, that's 7 people. Not obviously Don Callis as well.
He just needs 5 more.
Yeah.
Wow. It's actually looking like a thing. Oh, okay then. Guess what?
It's time for the main event.
I love doing that. Oh, so fun. We're so in sync. So this is a match. Okay, it's for MJF's AEW World Championship. But it's Adam Cole versus Switchblade Jay White. But if Adam Cole wins, he doesn't get it. It stays with MJF. It's fine.
Yeah.
We know what's happening.
I guess it's kind of like Samoa Joe winning keeps the belt to Adam Cole. It's the same thing as in the pre-show.
MJF would retain.
0. Yeah.
And Jay White comes out with the guns. Adam Cole comes out on crutches.
He comes out with crutches, yeah.
He does it so well, though. He looks really determined, but also absolutely terrified because he does not know how he's going to do this.
You know the one thing that trips me out with Adam Cole of this show? The beard.
Yeah.
It's weird seeing him with a longer beard. I don't know if I like it.
I like it. I just like guys with beards, apparently.
She has a type, apparently.
So they're in the ring, and Adam Cole's like sort of trying to psych himself up. He doesn't know quite what he's going to do. But I think it's before the bell rings.
Yeah. But Joe is taunting him as well. And
yeah. That's the thing. When the guns are coming down the ring with Jay White, they're like limping, pretending they have one leg as well.
When they get introduced, like Jay White's laying down in the ring, he's like, come on.
Yeah.
I'll lay down for you.
So this whole thing. And then there's the ambulance noise.
Siren.
Siren. That's what it's called.
The ambulance
noise. And MJF is driving the ambulance back to the arena, and he limps to the ring and gives Adam a big hug. So he's very much limping. He's got a bandage around his thigh, really selling it as a proper injury.
Yeah.
I did want to kind of address the injury angle. We try not to draw comparisons with the other company where we can, but I did want to address it because I don't want to sound like a hypocrite talking about this match where the angle is wrestling with an injury, when we've definitely talked about the Cody Rhodes angle in particular, wrestling with an injury, and I did not like that.
Yeah.
The difference is Cody Rhodes' injury with the chest was a real injury.
Yeah.
And that should not have happened at all.
Yeah.
And then the follow-up where they did the wrestling with the broken wrist, which was broken arm. It was not necessarily a real injury or had recovered.
Yeah.
But it was so close to that other match that it was glorifying it further.
I assume you're hypocritical. I'll tell you why I feel that it's not hypocritical to not like that.
Yeah.
Because they're saying Cody Rhodes has a broken arm. Seth Rollins has a broken back. The key terms there is they're saying that there's broken parts of the body.
Yeah.
In here, they're going, we don't know what the extent of this injury is. They're not saying, oh, well, his quad's torn off his knee and it's rolled up his leg. They're not saying, oh, he's broken his leg.
Yeah.
They're saying he was worked on. He has potentially a bad injury. Potentially.
Yes.
That's
I know
the
something's
difference.
happened.
That's why Adam Cole
to establish.
Yeah, and that's why Adam Cole getting in the match, and obviously they didn't go through with it because they have literally said he has shattered his ankle.
Yeah.
MJF, they didn't say he has an injury. They say he's potentially injured. He's got a bad knee. He might have injured his knee or whatever. They didn't say he's broken his knee. He didn't say he's broken his leg. That's the difference.
Yeah.
It's a work.
It's also playing in the emotion part of it where they've really led up to why MJF would fight with a potential injury. Whereas with Cody Rhodes, it was just because he didn't want to let the fans down, which is not a good enough excuse.
Nope.
So I just wanted to address that, just to explain why I actually really enjoyed this angle.
Yeah.
Whereas I didn't enjoy what could be perceived as a similar angle. But that's fine. Anyway. So there's quite a fun moment. Switchblade keeps sending MJF to the outside by the commentator's table where the guns are, and they're just attacking him while Jay is distracting the ref. But just one time, ref catches him when they've got a chair they're about to hit, and he's just left with his chair up in the air, and they get ejected, much to the happiness of the crowd.
I did the first time that happened, and the guns throw him back in for the turns around, and the thing is Austin, he's just leaning on the apron of the ring, and it's that's brilliant. I love that.
It's really good.
It's I didn't do nothing. What's going on?
And it's a really interesting spot with MJF. It's on the inside. Jay's on the outside on the turnbuckle, and MJF sort of just long jumps over all the ropes.
Oh yeah,
pulls Jay away, hits the cutter on Jay from the side. And I'm glad they replayed that, because just the first time, it's I don't know how on earth that man did that. Even without the broken leg, it's just
well, it's not a broken leg, Leanne. Come on.
Yeah, no. It's not
even with
broken.
the potential injury.
Potential injury. My words got ahead of me. And my voice is going, which is great. We move. And all this time, you got MJF really selling this injury. There are moments where it's like, oh yeah, we know he's fine. Because I feel it must be so hard to consistently sell an injury.
That's Bianca Belair.
With the right leg.
Or the wrong leg.
So there's moments where he's like, oh, we know he's fine, it's cool. And then he goes back to selling. And this whole time as well, you got Adam Cole on the side on his crutches, just with this look of despair, because he cannot do anything to help.
By the time he gets in the ring, the 3 count's done.
So he's just like, oh, I don't know what to do. He's yelling encouragement. There's times where MJF and Jay White are on the outside, and it looks like there might be a double count out because they just can't do anything.
Was that after the table spot, I think? With the elbow off the top.
Yeah, I think
that was the first time they sort of...
Yeah.
And they're like, why is he throwing him back in? He should just take the count out victory.
Because if there's a count out, MJF still retains the championship and gets his belt back.
Well, he would win anyway. If Jay can't answer the 10 count to get back in the ring, he's
champion's advantage.
Well, or even that, he wins the match.
Yeah.
Disqualification is champion's advantage.
That's if they're both out.
Oh, yeah, if they're both out, it's champion's advantage.
Which it was most of the time.
But Max picked up Jay and threw him in the ring, is what I'm getting at.
And Adam Cole was encouraging that, and MJF's clearly taking his advice, which is partly like, he's going face, yay, but also a bit like, what's Adam Cole playing at?
Yeah.
He knows that MJF could win without maybe furthering his injury, but he's making him keep going. So
we've got this, right? Encouraging him to keep going. We've got encouraging him to ask Samoa Joe for assistance.
Yeah.
Do you know what this kind of speaks to as me?
It sounds like it might be turning.
The devil on the shoulder. The angel, the devil, the good conscience, the bad conscience. It's
Adam
kind
Cole
of like
is both.
well, it's more like he's making Max do things that might be detrimental to his health. So when Cole is back to full strength, who's to say he doesn't go, how about a rubber match? How about we do one more time for the title? And MJF is so worn out and Cole is fresh. Guess what? I'm the devil.
Could be.
But we haven't covered yet if the devil shows up or not. So,
so there's a time where Adam Cole has the tag belt and he's like looking like he wants to hit Jay White with it.
Yeah, because he's kind of leaning on the ropes.
He's like hesitating. Partly, I guess he's in pain. He doesn't know what's going on. Maybe
must be awkward because he can't. He can only stand on one leg, and he's got the 2 crutches, and he's got the belt.
And he's like you can't get much leverage on that anyway.
No.
But Jay gets the belt from him and hits MJF with it.
Oh, he crowns him with it.
He pins him, but MJF kicks out. And then I get to around the finish, unless you got anything. It's a bit of a long finish.
No, go on.
So, ref bump.
Yeah. Good old Bryce.
Adam Cole has the ring, the diamond ring.
Yeah.
Puts it on the side and it's like, MJF, it's you. It's here for you. It's all yours. But he like puts it right on the edge of the ring, which is another little alarm
But I guess
bell.
it's the whole thing. If you're throwing it, you might get lost.
True. Or someone else might get it. Yeah. But Jay White gets to it first. MJF hits him with a low blow and then takes the ring, so he's got it.
It's a lot of low blows going on in this show.
So many.
Talk about Full Gear.
But then out come the guns. Not the youngs.
The young guns.
The young guns. There we go. Young Bucks and Guns. Tag up the young guns.
The young guns, yeah.
MJF hits both of them with the ring, then hits Jay with the ring, pins him, ref recovers, and counts the win.
Yep.
So MJF retains. Really good match.
Yeah, I enjoy this. The drama was nuts.
They used the injury and the interference very well. Didn't overdo it. They used it to their advantage to tell that story.
No devil showing up.
No devil.
Surprised by that. In terms of our predictions,
yep,
you got this one incorrect.
Of course I did.
6 in a row. I got this one correct.
Oops.
So you got 4 out of 11, and I got 8 out of 11.
But like I always say, it's better when it's unpredictable.
This is true. This is true.
I know it's mainly because I'm not as good at like reading the signs, but I'm having fun. That's what counts.
It makes, I mean that's refreshing because you're a bad loser, to be fair. So.
You don't know how I'm feeling on the inside. All right, what was your favorite match? It's really tough, isn't it?
Honestly, I think that this is for the sheer amount of what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I have to narrow it down to two.
Okay, we'll go with
it's either the ladder match, or the Texas Death Match. Even though I did say I felt it ran long, I still feel that the story contained and the drama of it and Hangman, just like I said, I would like to see this Hangman more. I like to see this fire from him. I didn't think it was there before, and I think this is very much a better version of Hangman. Cool. So I think it's definitely one of those two matches. I can't really narrow it down.
Fair enough.
You?
I've actually gone for the Golden Jets and Young Bucks.
Okay.
Something about a tag team match. I don't know. There's just more psychology to it, and in this one in particular, there's so much with the friends dynamic and all that stuff, and the storytelling, plus the smart wrestling with the targeting of the limbs kind of thing. I think I have seen like the Young Bucks in better matches and probably Kenny in better matches, but I really enjoyed this one, and it just takes my top spot.
What about least favorite?
This was also really hard. I enjoyed all of them.
Yeah.
I have gone with Toni Storm versus Hikaru Shida.
Okay.
I think it just didn't quite stand out as much as the others, but it was not a bad match at all. It's like the lowest of the top tier show.
Yeah. I think if we're not counting pre-show, I think that would be mine as well. And it's I feel that Shida gets a bad shafting at pay-per-views.
Yeah.
It's like she always loses the title, and it's like she obviously won it and she's defended it like how many times, whatever it was, and she loses to Toni Storm, and the whole, like, I liked the whole gimmick thing with the thing down the tights and the plate thing, whatever it was, but it just looked janky because of the way it didn't quite go to plan. The spot with Luther didn't quite go as planned, and this Mariah May woman, I just don't understand what's going on with this. It's a bit weird.
I'm sure that'll become clear.
Yeah. I feel that probably needs more of a build up to it than just having this woman turn up and be like, oh, I know. She probably should have been like, oh, well, I've been watching for, like, introduce her weeks ago, and build it up from there, and then meet her, and then come out and give that, and that would have made more sense. But it feels a bit rushed. In that sense. So I think I'd go for that one as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what would it have been if we were counting the pre-show?
Probably Eddie and Jay Lethal.
Yeah.
And just it wasn't a bad match. It was a decent opener, but I'm just sick of seeing Sanjay and Satnam Singh and Karen doing next to nothing.
Don't like Karen.
Well, it's just they're doing next to nothing. So they're just interfering. And the same with Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett is a phenomenal talent. And what are they doing with him?
Guitar shots.
Exactly. That's
he
it.
He doesn't even get to do the guitar shots anymore.
It's like he's been that for years, but at least he wrestled. At least he was in matches, you know, and okay.
Fair enough. Overall,
it's a phenomenal card,
amazing show, really,
start
really
to finish,
enjoyed.
There was no real bum matches on this card
weren't. At all. Like we say, our least favorite was still up there. That's all we can ask for. So thank you, AEW.
TK rules. Okay, what's next, Leanne?
I said a WWE one.
Yeah.
Elimination. No.
Survivor Series.
You
were on the right track, technically.
I'm sorry.
Technically, Survivor Series War Games. So our Survivor Series War Games predictions will be up at some point midweek-ish. And our reactions will be up on a week today, because it's a week yesterday as
Saturday one. Yay!
Hopefully, I mean, there's only I think it's 5 matches announced thus far, so hopefully it won't be really long. But the War Games, the thing is, the War Game match takes up half hour at least. It's from bell to bell in its own right. So there's 2 of them.
Filler.
And loads of filler. So that's going to be our next wrestling content. We will have some, we probably will only have Survivor stuff next week, so we're still a bit busy. We've got some stuff to do around the house and working on that.
But we're going to be recording some other stuff.
We'll have a lot more like board game and video game content coming up soon. It's just that some of these pay-per-views and premium live events just happen so close to each other. It kind of overtakes everything, and it's really annoying to try and find time with other stuff going on with life and family commitments and work commitments. And obviously we've got stuff around the house we need to work on, and not that our house is in disrepair, but we're improving on our house.
It could be better.
Well, it's more like improving in terms of anyway.
This has been home.
Take us away, Len.
Let's go. Thank you so much for watching. As always, we appreciate you so much. Please like this video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to be notified when we drop new videos. Like we said, we'll have our WWE predictions and reactions next week. Join in the conversation. Let us know what your favorite or least favorite, or both, match was of this card. And like, keep up that conversation about who you think the man in the mask is.
Yeah,
we still
we had a really interesting
idea.
bit of an interesting conversation with a chap on Facebook whose name I can't remember off the top of my head now. But yeah, it's keep chatting to us about it. We want to know what you think.
Join in. So you can talk to us either in the comments below or on our socials. We're on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Facebook. And you can find links to those in our link tree, which is in the description below. That'll take you to those, as well as links to our recent videos in different categories, so you can find stuff nice and easy. Is the plan.
Yep.
Check out our socials. We put our weekly updates so you know what's coming up soon, and little clips and things to tease you about what's going on. Yep. All right. Until next time, then.
Did you know?
Ooh.
MJF used to be an adventurer till he took a Bullet Club Gold to the knee.
Bullet Club.